Interest rates are at all-time lows right now, so I thought it'd be a good time to talk about home refinancing. Guys, it could be good and it could be bad, so I'm going to get into that a little bit today. Hello everyone, welcome to Step 1 Finance. Guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, I welcome you to do so. Hit that notification bell so you know when I post videos. And give me a thumbs up if you guys like the content. And guys, leave comments below. Let us know, what you think about the videos and how you guys are doing. Today, home refinancing. We have done this twice, like I said. The one we are actually in the process of doing right now, we had a 30-year FHA mortgage, which carries the PMI insurance on it for the life of the loan, which is principal mortgage insurance. So we refinanced down to a 25-year loan. We went from a 3.4 interest rate to a 2.75 interest rate, so almost 0.75% there. And we are knocking off 4.5 years of our mortgage because we've paid 6 months on this one. So, but the thing is we're going to be losing that PMI because we had our home appraised, and we almost have that 20% equity in the house already because we were fortunate to purchase this house for under market value. So we are not going to have that PMI that much longer. So that was a good thing. That's a good savings right there over a term of almost 30 years. We are also losing the 4.5 years off the mortgage, and we saved almost 0.75%. So we're going to have quite a bit of savings on this house just by doing the refinance that we just did. On the previous house, we had 18.5 years left on the mortgage. We had a 5.35 interest rate. We dropped down to a 2.75 interest rate, and we went down to a 10-year mortgage. Guys, that is one of the bad things that you can get yourself into, is strapping yourself with a high mortgage payment because everything sounds good. So our mortgage went almost up 200 and I think it was 80 some dollars per month. And everything just sounded great to us. So we're like, okay, let's do it. Well, we accumulated a lot of credit card debt over the first 3 years of that mortgage before we started our debt snowball, and it was horrible. I mean, we absolutely strapped ourselves. So guys, do your due diligence, ask questions, make sure you're not getting in over your head by going down too low of a mortgage, and I'm going to get into that too today. So let's jump into it. I just want to explain our two situations that we had. But the main reason for doing a home refinance is you're getting a lower interest rate. There's a lot of people out there with 4%, 4.5%. Guys, I mean, interest rates are insane right now. Like I said, that guy, 15 years, 2.375. We're getting a 2.75 on a 25-year loan. Now, that comes with good credit. I'm going to get to that down here. And obviously, another bonus is you pay off your mortgage faster, right? You want to get rid of that mortgage payment. So you want to get a lower rate, save money, pay off the mortgage faster. You guys, there's all kinds of different mortgages you could do. You got the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And this is where people really need to make their crucial decision. Like I said, we made a mistake. We were at about 18.5 years left on a mortgage, and we jumped all the way to a 10-year. We should have went to a 15. It would have been a lot more comfortable. And, guys, that monthly payment, make sure you can afford that monthly payment. Do not do what we did and accumulate debt just because we wanted to get a 10-year mortgage. All right? Be smart. We were not smart before. So credit scores, you got to have a good credit score. Guys, if you do not have a decent credit score, the chances of you getting out of a 4% mortgage is probably going to be slim, or you're not going to be able to drop that many percentage points. So if you are at a 4% and you have a really bad credit score, you might get a 4%, you might get a 3.8, and it's not even going to make sense to do the refinance. So you got to have a good credit score, and you got to have equity in your house. They look for some type of equity in your house. So if your house, if you default on your loans, they got money. They know they have a safe haven there. So you got to have equity on your house in order to refinance. So you have closing costs. The thing that's nice about this is the closing costs could all be rolled into the price of the house, so you can come with no money out of pocket. So that's a great thing. Spur of the moment decision. You're doing your due diligence. On that, everything works out. All the numbers are working out. You're going to save a lot of money. You don't even need no money up front. Closing costs all rolled in. So that's a big bonus. And going negative, that's where I'm going to give an example about going negative and making some bad decisions with your home refinance. All right, guys, so over here, I'm going to give an example of one of the biggest mistakes people do when they're refinancing their house. So in this scenario, I'm using a house that we purchased for $100,000. All right, and we paid 10 years on that house. It's worth $80,000. So by the time we pay 10 years, we're ready to refinance our house. We have $80,000 left on the mortgage, and that house is now worth $110,000 because it appreciated about 2% per year. So now our house is worth $110,000. We owe $80,000. We have about $30,000 of equity in that house, which typically the lender will let you use around 80% of that equity. So we're allowed to tap into $24,000. Well, they're going to ask you, do you want to roll anything into that mortgage? Do you have any cars you want to get rid of and have a lower payment on, or credit card debt you want to roll over? No. Answer is always no. They ask you to roll something into your mortgage. No. You never want to go negative on your equity. All right. You only want to use your equity in your house for positive things, something that's going to produce money for you. All right, guys, this is losing money for you, because what's going to happen is 5 years later, you trade that car in, you're still paying on that car in your mortgage. The car that you don't have anymore, you're going to keep paying for that thing for the next 30 years. And credit cards, what are you going to do? You're going to clear up this debt, and you're just going to you're going to put money on your credit card again, and you're going to go back in debt on your card. So now you're even deeper in the hole. That's why I stress the debt snowball or debt avalanche. You need to get out of this debt yourself. That is the only way to get out of your debt, is to do it yourself. And watch my series of 4 videos I put out, and I explain what we did to pay off over $100,000 in debt in less than 4 years. Guys, believe me, I've done everything, to try to get out of debt, and this is the only thing that worked. The only thing. I'm promising you it works. So doing this does not work. Do not roll in negative equity into your mortgage. Leave this alone. Don't even worry about the equity in your house. If they ask you, no. So this is just an example of how you could tap the equity. That's all it's here for. Other than that, no. This is what you want to use your equity or use your home refinancing for. You're at a 4.5% interest rate. You have 20 years left on the mortgage, and you want to go down to a 15-year, and you can get a 2.5% interest rate. Saving 5 years on the mortgage, saving 2%, which is humongous. So you're going to save a ton of money dropping 2% on your mortgage, and you're going to save 5 years on your mortgage. And if you're in an FHA and you go to a conventional and you have 20% equity in the house, which you do, you drop your PMI. So there's a chance to really save a lot of money by keeping it simple, drop a couple years off, and just do it simplistic. Remember, guys, good credit score, and you got to have that equity in the house. If you have 20% or more equity in your house, you do not need that PMI insurance anymore if you have a conventional loan. FHA stays with you for the life of the mortgage. So, guys, good scenario, bad scenario. Guys, and I wanted to add biweekly payments on. If you cannot afford to refinance your house, just by doing biweekly payments, you're going to save about 3 years off your mortgage. That's an extra payment per year, and it saves you a ton of interest. So always an option. But remember, that payment is every 2 weeks, so make sure you can afford it. Guys, real quickly, home refinance. I wanted to break it down real quick for you. Remember, do not go negative. Do it for the right reasons. I wanted to give another scenario that people do. So some people will have that 20 years left on their mortgage, and they go back to a 30-year, and they don't put any negative equity back into that house. I still don't see this being a good thing, because you just paid off 10 years of your mortgage and now you're going back to a 30-year. The only way you're going to make that work is if you pay extra money on your mortgage. So, if your mortgage drops like $500 a month because you go back to a 30-year, the only way you're going to make it work is if you pay that extra $500, $600, $700 a month on the mortgage to make sure that you still pay that loan off in a decent amount of time. So if you're at a 20-year, in my opinion, if you can't go to a 15, because the mortgage is too high per month, then don't do it. I just don't believe in going backwards, unless you guys are like, it just stinks because you just paid 10 years of your mortgage off for nothing. I just highly recommend doing the debt snowball or debt avalanche. Guys, I can't tell you enough how much that's worked for us. That's why I started this YouTube channel. I got excited for it, and I'm telling you, it works. So I promise you, go do that. Really dedicate yourself for a few years to get yourself out of debt. You're in debt for 20, 30 years. Spend a couple years getting yourself out of debt. And I'm telling you, you guys can do it. So guys, home refinancing, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Remember, I am not a financial advisor. This is just something that I'm passionate about, and what I've learned over the years and the 2 experiences that we've had refinancing our houses, and I wanted to share the information with you. So with that being said, guys, I will see you next time.